Hello and welcome back to Instagram for Bosses. I'm Andrea and my mission is to simplify Instagram marketing so you can consistently attract ready-to-invest clients without posting every day or living on your phone. And today I want to talk about something that I see come up over and over again with established clients in the beauty, lifestyle and service spaces. It's this quiet urgency around growth. Not in a loud influencer kind of way, but in that subtle internal way where inquiries feel slightly inconsistent and your brain immediately jumps to, maybe we just need more followers. You're doing all the right things, you're posting regularly, creating reels, sharing examples of your work, and trying to stay consistent. And then you scroll and land on a competitor's page, cue the spiral. Their feed looks calm, considered, and professional. They have 12,000 followers and their posts are getting a ton of engagement. And suddenly, the voice inside your head is telling you, that must be why they're consistently booked out. If we just grow our followers, Instagram will finally work for us. Well, today I want to gently challenge that because more followers won't fix your content problem. And in high-ticket service businesses, growth is rarely the bottleneck, alignment is. Let me break it down for you. I recently audited a premium skin clinic's Instagram account that on the surface was doing everything right. They were posting consistently, creating reels, and showcasing their service with before and after photos. They were even sharing carousels because someone told them that they were performing well right now. And technically, nothing was wrong. But when I landed on their feed, it felt busy. There were strong laser shots mid-treatment, skin looking very red and raw immediately after procedures, and captions that were dense text blocks with minimal spacing, explaining the treatments using a lot of clinical jargon. Now, clinically, all of this makes sense. We know redness is normal, that downtime is temporary, and that in a week the results will look amazing. The problem is, the woman landing on that profile doesn't know that, right? She's 42, she's considering a $2,500 treatment plan, and she's already feeling slightly nervous. Her first thought isn't, yes, post-procedural erythema. Her first thought is, wow, that looks intense and kind of painful. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. This feels a little overwhelming. And meanwhile, the clinic owner is thinking, we're posting regularly, we're creating reels, why aren't we getting consistent inquiries? Then they scroll to a competitor. The competitor's feed feels calm, soft lighting, relaxed treatment room shots, clear, spaced out captions that are easy to digest, language that their audience understands, and content that makes them feel seen. This clinic looks and feels safe and professional. And suddenly it looks like the competitor's success is about follower count. But it's not. It's actually about the impression being created. One account feels reactive and clinical, the other feels considered and safe. That difference has nothing to do with having 12,000 followers instead of 2,000 followers, but everything to do with how the brand feels in the first 10 seconds. And here's the part that might feel slightly uncomfortable. When you say we just need more followers, what you're really saying is I want an easier fix because growth feels tangible. You can see the number going up. You can screenshot it and say we've grown by 500 this month. But refining your content, rethinking how your brand feels online and dialing in messaging that speaks to deeper fears instead of surface level features, that's harder. And I say this with so much respect because I've been there too. It's much easier to blame follower count than to admit that your content might not be building the kind of trust your ideal client needs before she inquires. Growth won't save unclear messaging, it won't fix average content, and it definitely won't fix random posting with no strategy. If anything, it just amplifies whatever is already there. If your content feels busy, inconsistent, or slightly overwhelming, 20,000 followers will just mean 20,000 people seeing that same impression. And that's not a growth problem, that's a content problem. So if it's not followers, what actually drives consistent bookings for beauty, lifestyle, and service brands? In my experience, it comes down to 3 things. Not hacks, not trends, and not whatever shiny new format Instagram is pushing this month. First, strategic nuanced messaging. And by that, I mean messaging that speaks to the deeper concerns your ideal client has, not just the surface level features of what you do. Let's revisit the skin clinic example. Surface level messaging sounds like advanced laser treatment for skin rejuvenation. Nuanced messaging sounds like this treatment is for women who want noticeable results without looking overdone and who are nervous about downtime or harsh recovery. Notice the difference? One describes a treatment, while the other speaks to a deeper underlying fear your ideal client has. It's far more likely that someone will pay a premium for the second version because it directly addresses their deeper concerns. They feel seen and reassured. Second is calm and considered media. Your visuals should match the level of the service you're offering. If you're charging premium prices, your content should feel steady and intentional. This doesn't mean it has to be picture perfect, like something you'd see on an influencer's page. It just needs to look like you're not experimenting every other week with a new Canva template because a so-called Instagram expert you follow said that that type of post performs well. It also means sticking to consistent brand fonts and colors. Now, you don't need a boring vanilla grid, but when your fonts change every second post or your color palette shifts constantly, it creates visual inconsistency. The same goes for overused stock photos that every other business in your niche uses. That's the fastest way to blend in instead of standing out as a leader. Consistency in branding, tone, and messaging builds subconscious trust, and trust is what converts, especially in high-ticket industries. Third is clear next steps. So many accounts create beautiful content and then never actually tell people what to do next. No CTA, no invitation, and no clear pathway forward. If someone lands on your content and thinks, this looks amazing, this is for me, but has no idea how to move forward, then they won't. Aligned buyers aren't scared of clarity, they're reassured by it. When your messaging is specific, your visuals feel considered, and your next step is obvious, you don't need 10,000 followers. You just need the right people seeing the right message at the right time. Let me give you a real example of this working. One of our long-term agency clients, a jeweler specializing in bespoke engagement rings, has just under 4,000 followers. Not 50,000, not 10,000, under 4,000. When we first started working together, their posting was inconsistent, messaging was generic, and the content they shared didn't fully reflect the level of craftsmanship and expertise they were known for. So we didn't focus on growth, we instead focused on structure. We implemented a clear content strategy and dialed in their messaging so it spoke directly to the deeper desires of their ideal client, not just surface level features of a diamond ring. We assessed what their competitors were posting and we deliberately created content that stood out. We made sure every post had a clear purpose and used consistent branding, fonts, and tone. We went in and shot high quality images and reels that actually reflected the premium experience of walking into their showroom. And we made their next step obvious, not pushy, just clear. And the result? Not only were they getting consistent inquiries, but they also felt so much more confident in their online presence. And again, they have under 4,000 followers. Because the right people who understand your offer or service will always outperform 10,000 random ones who don't. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, Andrea, I get it, it's not my follower account, but I honestly don't know how to fix my content. That's totally okay, because it's one thing to say speak to deeper fears and a completely other thing to sit down and actually write that caption. It's one thing to say make your content feel calm and considered, and another thing to look at your grid and think, where do I even start? And this is where a lot of brands will default back to growth, because growth feels simpler. Post more, try a new format, jump on the latest trend, run a giveaway. I get it, it feels actionable. Refining your messaging, on the other hand, feels heavier. But here's what I want you to know. If your business is already established and you're already delivering incredible results for your clients, you don't need more posts and more noise. You need refinement. You need someone to look at your account objectively and say, this part is building trust, this part is causing friction, this might be overwhelming your ideal client, and this is sounding a little unclear. Now, that doesn't mean you've been doing it wrong, it just means you've outgrown the guessing phase. And this is exactly why I created my free Instagram assessment. Think of it as a diagnostic. It's not one of those what type of entrepreneur are you fluffy quizzes. It's a proper diagnostic that looks at whether your Instagram is actually positioned to generate consistent inquiries. It'll show you where the gaps are, whether it's messaging structure, positioning, or something else. Because once you understand what's actually causing the inconsistency, you stop chasing follower count and you start fixing the real problem. It takes less than 3 minutes and it'll give you far more clarity than obsessing over your follower number ever will. And if you're at the stage where you're thinking, okay, I don't just want a diagnostic, I want this handled for me, then you're more than welcome to book a strategy call with me where we can explore what it would look like to work with our agency, including how we can refine your content. And if you're at that stage where you're thinking, okay, I don't just want a diagnostic, I want this handled for me, then you're more than welcome to book a strategy call with me. We can explore what it would look like to work together with our agency, including how we can refine your content, make you stand out, and build something that actually converts consistently. The links to both the assessment and strategy call are in the show notes. Thanks so much for joining me today. If this episode resonated, take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories. Don't forget to tag me at Andrea Marie Creative because I love seeing who's listening and chatting with you over there. And if you haven't already, follow the show so you don't miss the next episode. If you really want to make my day, you can leave me a rating and review. It really helps the show to grow and impact more business owners. Have an amazing week, and I'll catch you in the next one.